Welcome to DM Commentary for segment 13.
You guys are coming down through here instead of there, because you made that choice.
I am Chris Perkins, your humble DM. All right, the guys have made their way to the ultimate encounter.
Other dudes? Yeah.
They are coming to the entrance of the tomb of the Orc Slayer.
Leading the way. Throwing yourself into the arms of Ranrock.
All right, guys.
And for the record, I do a piss-poor job of explaining the area that they're about to enter.
There's another ledge here, but you see it's slick ice at these points here. And
I'll handle it. You've been good about this.
you see that the grotto sort of ends.
Whenever the guys hear the word slick ice, they just start to break out in laughter because they know things are not going to go their way.
And
Basically, the entrance to the tomb has collapsed. The floor has fallen away, forming a fissure with a frozen pool at the bottom. And by passing down through the grotto, they actually come out to a point where they're lower than the floor level of the tomb. So they're almost coming at it from below.
with the Regal Hall that you guys decided not to explore.
Could have easily
Which is fine.
rolled through.
You also notice from this point of view that this ice down here in the bottom there's stuff under it.
Grave.
I like the idea of having them look through the ice and actually see that there's like frozen water underneath it and maybe some broken doors and other parts of the tomb that have just sort of collapsed down into this hole.
But that hall's gonna have its challenges.
And even though they're relative noobs for the most part, they're instantly suspicious of the ice. And of course, there's the fear of falling through.
One within 10 squares. So is that a square I target and then 10 within it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, before we possibly
Well,
free...
it's area burst 1, so it's 1 square and then 1 within it, but you can cast it out to 10 squares away.
Oh, I understand.
Here's where I explain area burst effects to Dan for the first time.
They want to eat us because they're trapped in the ice. Why don't we try to see what's in there?
Perception.
I should have picked up on that thing from Doug, Zombie Yeti. That's always...
Yeah.
Zombies are always fun. If I had some Yeti miniatures, I probably just would have thrown them right there on the board.
Yeah. Same marching water.
I like to listen to players closely when they sort of hypothesize about the dangers that lie ahead or the things that could happen if they don't do the right thing. Because often the players will give you great ideas, if not for this encounter, then for some future encounter.
You can see that the ice here is a skin.
When they start to imagine worst possibilities or what monsters might lie beyond, it's like, you know, I might just throw that at them.
Like they were torn off their hinges and fell in here, probably when this area collapsed.
When designing dungeon chambers, it's easy to make the dungeon feel more like a living place by collapsing sections of it. It's a very simple way to create interesting terrain, and it makes the dungeon show its age, which is always... It's sort of a cheap and dirty trick that you can use if you want to make your dungeon feel old and look old, then kind of make things a little collapsed and ragged looking. Some broken walls, some piles of debris.
Like little clouds of bluish, almost gas or miasma kind of floating around.
Oh, wow.
But that's all you can really see at this vantage point.
Did we go through some sort of portal in time and space? Because it seems like we went down 20 feet only to line up with a hallway we passed by.
Yeah, you've been going down.
This is the big cliff, though.
Yeah, essentially the hallway stayed level.
This is Doug trying to figure out where he is altitude-wise compared to the room.
Yes,
You gotta climb up.
Yes, you're actually you have to climb up now.
Now I get it.
And there is supposedly a portal. I had something about that.
You know that the shields, the 3 shields together, are supposed to
Oh, yeah, that's
be
right.
able
They
to
fit
unlock a
together and
portal.
unlock a portal.
Yeah. But the place is deathly silent.
Dan is the keeper of the backstory here, reminding everybody what the hell they're doing there. Why are we in this tomb again?
Who would like to be the first to venture out onto the ice?
One of the big problems that happens if you run an ongoing campaign is the players don't remember from session to session their motivation. So one of the tricks that I often do at the start of a session is I rip off a trick from episodic TV.
The center? I want to see my friends get up before I
You know,
go run.
previously in Battlestar Galactica, previously in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, previously on Lost. I do these little previously segments that I prepare ahead of time and I basically recount or recap what happened from previous sessions that I think, details I think are going to be relevant or important to the session at hand.
Out there, you hear crack.
Nice.
And then I need
All right, Ranrock takes the plunge.
to make
I had the notion that the ice would break if 3 or more characters were standing on it at the same time. So, really, Ranrock's fat ass didn't have anything to do with it.
What am I rolling? Frostbite?
You can either make an athletics check to hang on to the wall,
Or?
or you can make an acrobatics check to try to get out of the area.
Do I have that option, or do I have to do an acrobatics?
All 3 of you do.
I'm doing.
So either
I thought about making it a saving throw to try to hold onto the walls and prevent from falling in, but at the time, I guess, I just thought, we'll get them to roll some skill checks. They'll have a better chance of success. And really, I didn't want them to be stalled at this point. I wanted to get them into the tomb. I didn't want them spending the next half hour trying to figure out how to get Ranrock out of the bottom of the fissure.
Because you have to use athletics to climb. So choices.
I'm gonna re-roll
Okay.
for athletics then.
You could also apply that same roll to your athletics if you want.
I will then. That's perfect. 8 plus 17.
All right, you're able to climb up.
Yep. I'll just hang out there.
I'm gonna try to climb up as well,
Okay.
with my great bonus of 0 no matter what I do. A 13, lucky number 13.
It is lucky for you.
Yay.
You get up.
Jonas and I are gonna go
You rolled a 10
back
on
to
athletics.
breakfast then.
Okay. You get to there, you claw.
So back to the previously bit. Some DMs I know like to have their players keep notes during the session and then have one of the players sort of recount what happened from the session before at the start of the current game. I prefer to take that responsibility myself. That way I can make sure that the characters get the right details.
The ice cold water.
Plus, I can start off the session in a very dramatic way
600 pounds.
and make sure that the previously doesn't run on too long, that it gives just the essential information, and that sets up what I want to start the campaign or start the session off with.
Some sort of.
Here now.
At this point in time,
The ice is broken.
the ice is basically broken. So the only thing you could do is try to use athletics to cling to like a side of a wall and edge your way around.
Toss me a hand or the hilt of your sword.
I went over and helped
Or,
last time.
or you can reach in and help him pull his metal ass out of
Athletics
there.
are -1.
I have 0
Oh.
acrobatics.
The other 2 of you see several interesting things.
Oh no.
These little things are the clouds. They are these weird, eldritch, magical clouds of bluish gas that seem to glow. And almost
So here I describe the tomb, and I probably spend more time describing the tomb than I do any other place in the dungeon, but that's okay. It's a big room. It's got lots of features.
a standing sarcophagus.
I love the sarcophagus mini that we made, and also the treasure pile minis that I'm going to put on here momentarily.
Flanking the sarcophagus are 2 stone claws.
Most of the minis that we produced
They're
were
almost like
literally
bats holding
people or
treasure.
monsters. Occasionally we did these odd little things, and boy, oh boy, did they look good.
Now, the walls of the room, you see, have basically...
Again, the room is showing its age with fissures in the walls.
Parts of them have collapsed in these
I
vents.
deliberately didn't spend much time describing the fissures, but they do play an important role in the encounter.
Bones. Hundreds and hundreds of bones of what look to be dead orcs. Hence,
York Slayer.
We may be, yeah. Right.
We're fine.
Yes.
In describing the room, I tried to touch on the key features that would actually play a role in the encounter: the bones that are set into the walls,
jaundice,
the treasure piles,
kai.
the sarcophagus, the magic circle, and the fissures. And the clouds of gas. Now, the clouds of gas was my first attempt to insert beneficial terrain into the adventure, and you'll see how that plays out next session.